Hello students, welcome to SOEM program on Information Technology Applications in Libraries. Today we are going to discuss another important topic, that is library networks, objectives, functions and services. Library networks are collaborative systems that connect libraries to share their resources, expertise and services for the benefit of its users. These networks facilitate the exchange of information, access to a broader range of materials, and efficient management of library resources. By leveraging technology and cooperation, library networks enable libraries to provide enhanced services while minimizing the duplication and cost. Library networks play a critical role in fostering knowledge sharing, improving access to information, and promoting innovation in library services. In today's digital age, library networks have expanded their scope to include online resources, digital archives, and virtual collaboration, making them an essential part of modern library operations. This is today's agenda. First one is we are discussing various definition of library networks. We will be covering objectives and characteristics of library networks, functions and services of library network, purpose of library networks, evolution of library networks in international as well as Indian scenario, and we will giving enlisting some library networks in India. Learners, due to the rapid growth of information and rising cost of information services and products, modern libraries struggle to meet users' information needs. In the past, resource sharing methods like interlibrary loan were employed to address user demands. However, with the development of information technology, libraries now operate in a networked environment, enabling access to data and information resources in electronic formats, which can be shared digitally. The primary benefit of a library network is that multiple users can access and share data and other library resources. This network ensures that information is shared efficiently, reliably, and accurately. Modern communication technologies have become vital for libraries and information centers in supporting resource sharing. This shift reflects the transformation of libraries into comprehensive information and knowledge centers. Libraries use ICT to automate processes and improve access to information for users. Library networks enhance resource sharing, optimize the use of collections, address information delivery challenges, and minimize duplication of resources. One prominent example is the Research Library Group (RLG), established in the year 1974 by Columbia University, Harvard University, Yale University, and the New York Public Library. This library consortium, including several universities and research institutions, collaborated on resource management programs and utilized Stanford University's bibliographic automation of large library operations using time sharing system, that is known as a ballots. RLG's system, RLIN, Research Libraries Information Network, focused on four core areas: collection management and development, shared resources, preservation, technical services, and bibliographic control. Its primary aim was to create a shared online database of library collections. Its primary aim was to create a shared online database of library collections, facilitating collaborative acquisition, delivery, and preservation of information. In June 2006, RLG merged with OCLC and its catalog became the part of OCLC's WorldCat, with Eureka databases transitioning to OCLC's first search services. The modern communication technologies now play a vital role in resource sharing systems and library consortia. This include computer networks for accessing national and international databases and innovative systems like Adonis, article delivery over networked information systems for full text digital content delivery. Learners, now let us see there are some definitions on library networks given by various agencies and others. Franklin David Jaharaj and Frederick Robin Devados define a library network as, quote, a library network is broadly described as a group of libraries coming together with some agreement of understanding to help each other with a view to satisfying the information needs of their clientele. Renard C. Swank defines library network as a concept that includes the development of cooperative systems of libraries on geographical, subject, or other lines, each with some kind of sender that not only coordinates the internal activities of the system, but also serve as a system's outlet to an inlet from the sender of other system. The UNICIST second working document defines the information network as a set on interrelated information systems associated with communication facilities which are cooperating through more or less formal agreements and institutional agreements in order to jointly implement information handling operations with a view to pooling their resources to offer better services to the users. They generally follow identical and they generally follow identical or compatible rules and procedure. So it is very clear from these definitions that library network, it is an agreement of a group of libraries. They're coming together to help each other by providing information handling operations, human resources, as well as to provide better resources and services to its users. Now let us see what are the different objectives of library networks. Assist member institutions with the computerization of their libraries, the retroconversion of bibliographic records, and the development of standardized databases for shared use. Promote interlibrary cooperation and resource sharing at all levels among members of the library and information networks. Create union catalogs of various resources to ensure reliable access to document collections available in its member libraries. Provide document delivery services to member libraries. Offer training to library staff for participating institutions for effective use of libraries within the networks. Facilitate communication between users of member institutions. Provide access to information resources at reduced rates through consortium agreements. Support and promote collaborative digitization projects. And develop protocols, standards, guidelines, and methods for bibliographic records, storage, interlibrary loans, software, hardware, and more. So these are the major objectives of library networks. Now let us see what are the various characteristics or features of library networks. The major features include equal access opportunities. All individuals, regardless of their location, social status, or physical condition, have equal access to information resources within a network, as long as they are connected through the communication links. And another feature is interdependence. Libraries are no longer self-sufficient in collections, staffing, or services, making them reliant on each other for resource sharing. And having the extensive databases, networks offer collaborative control and access to. Next is having the provision of extensive database use. Networks offer collaborative control and access to large scale bibliographic databases, allowing for broader data sharing capabilities. Loss of autonomy. Being part of network may mean a reduction in the autonomy of individual libraries or information centers. Other features include collaborative decision making. Policies are developed based on mutual benefits and collective agreements among all the participants of in the network. And a comprehensive library services. Networks are typically designed to provide a full range of library services, ensuring extensive support for users. And the activities within the network are centralized, with the large bibliographical databases stored and monitored at central locations, often under the management of a national apex body. So this centralization is another characteristic of library networks. The costs are distributed among network participants, which enhances the productivity by delivering a more extensive array of information services or products. In that way, the library network ensures cost efficiency and increased productivity. And the network relies on online computing and telecommunication systems as a core components. So there will be online computers and telecommunication systems usage. Now let us discuss what are the major functions and services of a library network. They're doing a lot of activities, services. So now let us check the functions and services one by one. Shared cataloging, that means the collaborating in cataloging process with the basis of a memorandum of understanding. And union catalog, creating a collective catalog of books and periodicals among the participating libraries so that users can easily identify and locate the availability of document in various libraries. And online cataloging, providing an online public access catalog, OPAC service, and the authority file they can have, developing a standardized authority file amongst the libraries. Another important function is document delivery service. Interlibrary loan. Another important service is document supply service. It can be provided in two ways. One is interlibrary loan or document delivery service. Through interlibrary loan, the library is facilitating borrowing books or other documents from various libraries under in the particular network. And document delivery service, delivering requested documents to users. And the document delivery service, the libraries will be providing requested document to its users. The most of the libraries now having the document delivery service, DDS, through which they give in the full articles according to the need and the requirements of the users. The third function is a cooperative acquisition of materials. Books, periodicals, and other reading materials will be acquired jointly to optimize the resources. Retrospective conversion. Next is retrospective conversion. It is one of the important function of a library while they are automating their databases. So converting older records to digital format, the libraries can have a cooperation amongst themselves. Another service is literature search service. They can be imparted through these library networks. For example, current awareness service to keep the users updated with recent publications, recent developments in their field of interest, and the selective dissemination of information, delivering personalized, tailored information to the specific users according to their user needs. And retrospective search services providing searches on past information according to the requirements of the specialized users. And other functions include creation of specialized databases. These member libraries can develop databases focused on specific projects, specializations, and institutions. Referral and reference services utilizing email to assist with the reference queries. Member libraries can provide bulletin board services, sharing updates and information within the network. Access to international databases. The library networks generally they provide. The next is access to international databases through which the libraries providing access to global databases to its users. Guidance for library automation. The member libraries can help each other to automate their collections, and in all way they can assist in the automating processes of the libraries. Another function of the library network is development of standardization. In consultation with member libraries, the central library or the node library or the coordinators can take initiative to develop the standardization for establishing standards for resources and services. And training is very important for library personnel. So through the library networks, library can provide training to the staff for various to implement various services amongst the network libraries. Consultancy services offering expert advice on library operations, and interacting with other library networks is another important aspect. Collaborating with other networks to enhance resource sharing and knowledge. Learners, now you have a quick look on purpose of library networks. The various purposes include to offer network-based services to users, including document delivery, bibliographic information services, and human resource development. To facilitate research and learning among members by leveraging the collective strength of participating institutions to share information resources. To enhance user access to electronic materials and physical collections, improve interlibrary loans, and streamline document delivery services. And the last purpose is to encourage resource sharing among member libraries by coordinating efforts in collection development, thereby minimizing cost, avoiding duplication of resources. Now let us discuss the evolution of library networks at a global scenario. Library networks have their origins in the long-standing practices of library cooperations and resource sharing, which have been used for centuries. The introduction of computers in the early 1970s for automating indexing and abstracting services, along with the concept of sharing vast amounts of information through communication networks, led to the creation of online databases. This initiative spurred the development of computerized databases and online search services like Dialog, BRS, and DIMDI. In 1970, the American Library Association and the US Office of Education co-sponsored a significant national conference on interlibrary communication and information networks at Warrenton in Virginia. The conference emphasized the importance of establishing networks among libraries in the United States to make the most effective use of collected information resources available in American libraries. The continued interest in library networks stems from their potential to offer centralized services which are highly cost effective. A notable example is the Library of Congress production of catalog cards in 1968, which pioneered the centralized technical processing of documents. This practice was soon replicated in individual states localities across the US, and several European countries. At the international level, some of the most prominent library networks include Online Computer Library Center, OCLC, Research Libraries Information Network, RLIN, Joint Academy Network, JANET, China Academic and Library Information System, CALIS, Australia's Research and Education Network, ARNET. These are the major library network at international level. And the evolution of library networks in Indian scenario. The history of library networks in India dates back to 1958 when, under the guidance of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, the scientific policy resolution was adopted to promote scientific thinking among the population. This led to the formation of several committees and commissions, which made important recommendations regarding library corporations. The key reports from the period include the Sinha Committee report in the year 1959, Ranganathan report to UGC in the year 1965, Peter Laser Committee report in the year 1972, and V.A. Kamath report in the year 1972. These reports advocated for cooperation among libraries at local, regional, and national levels. During the 7th five-year plan, during the period of 1985 to 90, the Planning Commission of India appointed a working group chaired by Dr. N. Sheshagiri to study the modernization of library services and the interlinking of library systems. Later, Professor D.P. Chattopadhyay chaired another committee to develop a national policy on library information systems, which also emphasized resource sharing and linking of educational and research institutions. Interestingly, in the year 1977, the National Information System for Science and Technology, NISAT, was established as a project under the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, DSIR, Government of India. The NISAT played a crucial role in establishing metropolitan library networks in India. The primary goals of these networks were to strengthen the resource sharing, to avoid duplication, and reduce the cost of acquiring resources. Learners, these are the major library networks in India. Developing Library Network, DELNET, Information and Library Network, InfLibNet, Calcutta Library Network, CalibNet, Ahmedabad Library Network, ADINET, Mysore Library Network, MyLibNet, Pune Library Network, PooNet, Madras Library Network, MyLibNet, and the Bombay Library Network, BONET. These are the major networks in India. We will be discussing in detail some of this network in the next session. This is a homepage of DELNET, Developing Library Network. You will find their details, membership services and resources, what they're doing. They're having the consortium of DELNET consortium of e-journals, DELNET consortium of books, and they have the services of plagiarism detection software and some more major services. So we will be discussing detail about all these services in the next session. These are the important, I think this all discussed. Learners, let us conclude with the remark that the evolution of library networks in India reflects a long-standing commitment to enhancing cooperation, resource sharing, and modernization within the library system. Beginning with the initiatives driven by the scientific policy resolutions in 1958, numerous committees and commissions laid the foundation of library cooperation across the country. The establishment of metropolitan library networks under the NISAT in the late 20th century marked a significant step towards centralizing information sharing and cost-effective resource management. Although NISAT's operations ceased in the year 2004, the legacy of these networks, such as InfLibNet, DELNET, CalibNet, etc., continues to play a vital role in improving access to knowledge and facilitating collaboration among libraries, that ensuring better services for users across the country. Dear learners, this is the end of this session. We will be meeting with another topic in the next class. Thank you all.